most songwriters of contemporary praise and worship songs are primarily musicians.
Yeah.
There's many good lyricists, but there aren't many who have studied the Bible. Now, I'm not saying you have to have gone to theological college, but I think if we're going to write lyrics, we should be students of the Bible.
Yeah, and so much of what we're doing is that singer-songwriter model of just we're sitting there in our room with our guitar, and this is my musings, this is where and actually you can't really. Maybe if you want to be like a songwriter singing down in the coffee shop, you can do that. But if you want to be someone who's presenting songs to the church, it maybe has to involve a few more people, like maybe some sort of theologian, someone who has a great grasp of scripture and can help you as you try and unpack some of these themes in a fresh way. I was quite sort of single-minded and focused in every way before I met Beth, I think, and that included the songs. Like, I didn't like people getting a look in on the songs, and actually Beth has brought a lot. She just got a good musical ear, a good sense of words, and more than anything, she's a real worshipper. So that does give a real extra dynamic, even if some stuff she's not quite, isn't quite my thing, but I totally see what you're doing. And then other stuff she's good with helping men, but actually it also helped get me out of that single-minded sort of I'm going to do this on my own thing. And last few years, as well as with Beth and people like Mike Pilavarchi, chipping into songs, there's been just more open to different theologians. A friend of mine, Don Williams from California, and different songwriters like Chris Tomlin and people, and got together, with Charlie Hall and Tim Hughes and folk like that, and just starting to realise that even if you don't even write a song together, you will sharpen each other. There's something that happens in that process. You learn, like, from the different ways you approach things, and it's been a massive help. Beth, before we got married, she was doing band stuff and singing and real worshipper and leading a bit of worship and stuff. So it is actually very cool to have someone who doesn't just tell you what's wrong with the song, but actually can help you finish it and complete it. So thank you. I get stuck in a rut quite easily, partly because you're always sitting there on an acoustic guitar, and often one of the comments, will be, "Oh, it just sounds like another of the songs," and Beth's quite good at giving it a bit of a fresh melody thing. I mean, even it's funny little things, like sometimes I tend to go down at the end of every line melodically, and that actually...
Yeah, but we listen to such different types of music as well, and the songs that you write are in that style of the type of music you listen to, whereas I'd be listening to some sort of like happy poppy thing, so probably we'd come along and end up putting the two sort of styles together.
No, it's true, we don't hear much guitar music in the house these days. So I've written songs with Beth, like Blessed Be Your Name and For the Cross and Let My Words Be Few. Got one song with Mike Pilavarchi, Nothing Is Too Much, which really I'd nicked loads of words out of his sermon. Nicked too many for it to be an accident, so I thought I'd better include him on that. So he came, and then a couple of early ones, It's Rising Out, The Cross Said It All with Martin Smith, and Wonderful Maker with Chris Tomlin, a song called The Rising Shout with Charlie Hall. So I'm getting into it more and more, Sing Blessed Be Your Name. Martin Smith, I think, really started me off on the songwriting journey in that I'd been starting to write some songs, but I hadn't really thought at all about crafting them. But more or less what came out. I crafted the lyrics a bit, but just Martin produced the first couple of albums we did, and I guess we developed a real close friendship, realised we were doing some similar things, but he was a lot further on than me, so it really sharpened me, and I we have a great friendship that came out of that. Come here, come and sit here.
Come sit here.
Come
here.
Come sit here.
There you go, that's perfect.
The actual theme of the song Face Down has been brewing for a while. We've been looking a lot at sort of reverence and wonder and mystery and worship, and a lot of it for me was encapsulated in that word face down. It's like the ultimate physical expression of that. So I was thinking it would be really handy to have a song titled that, but you can't force these things out. So one day I guess the songs blurted out, and then Beth, as usual, helped me find what was wrong with it.
No,
and
you
how to
normally just
fix
say,
those
oh, I've
bits.
got this song and you're telling me about it and I'm getting really excited, and I say, oh, can I hear it? And you say, oh no, 'cause it's not finished. So then I say, well, bring it here and I'll finish it.
Yeah, that makes you sound a little bit arrogant.
That's how all the best ones are written anyway.
Don't say that.
Say bye-bye, baby.
Bye-bye.
But for me, I can see the journey of the song. Like, I think that's often how it works. You start with something, and then you end up deleting and editing and polishing as you go through. And the funny thing for me is, I see that the whole bit I started with is not even anywhere near the song. But if I'd never have gone there, I wouldn't have this song. And the most encouraging thing sometimes is when someone comes up to you and they say, oh, your song helped me put into words what I was trying to say to God. For me, I mean, that's just that's like, wow, there's humbling, but it's also just encouraging. Just think, because you're doing that, you're trying to put into words. It feels like a lot of songwriters are made like that. You know, some people find art a great way of expressing themselves. Yeah. Some people, you know, just writing or whatever. But I guess a songwriter's made that a song is the best way they find of expressing themselves to God. And so it's quite nice when someone else comes up and says, you know, you translated my feelings for me to God.
And I mean, for me, those songs are often the most special because actually they were my lifeline for that situation. They were like, God, you know, I need you, where are you? And it kind of helped me to express maybe some of the pain, but also express that hope that actually, you know, better days are ahead and God's in control. And
fantastic.
Yeah.
The best motivation is just simply, I want to know God. I want to know what God is like.
Yeah.
And I want to know what's true about God and who He is and what He's done. And that's going to be an eternal search for us. We're never going to get to the end of it.
Yeah. Another thing I've been really challenged with in songwriting is just being authentic, being what is it that God's been speaking to me, what is it that I can express that maybe something that's within me, but also is, you know, biblical and actually, you know, I love again reading through the Psalms and you hear some of David's language and you think, I know what he means, I feel I've been there, I've kind of, it puts into words some of the things I've been trying to say, so it's trying to get that balance as well.
Old hymn writer Fanny Crosby, she talked about songwriting, she talked about the valley of silence, and she just says that most of her hymns were born in the silences of the soul. And I think, you know, in terms of a spiritual walk with God, and in terms of songwriting, silence is a key environment just to get in. Sometimes you hear things you won't ever hear otherwise. You know, there are some songs I think that do come just pour out, don't they? You know, it's just maybe a nice little adoration, you know, expression, and that's cool. But I love it also. I think it's really important that some of us, and we're going to try and encourage people around the world to. Do you have a real calling as a songwriter? And if you do, you know, there's nothing more wonderful in, you know, than sometimes unlocking freshness in your worship time, you know, in your local church than a new song. But how much more wonderful if it's come out of your church family and it's something that someone in the family's written and it's biblical and it's congregational and it's poetic and it's relevant. Get writing for your church. You know, sometimes these days there's such a sort of recording culture and everyone's doing this stuff, and that's nice, you know, because we get to pass the songs around and share them with each other, but there's something really cool about writing for your church and thinking, well, I can see where this song's going to, and the great thing about that is it will unlock freshness in worship, but also it will reflect something of the journey that you as a family in your particular body of believers are on, and I just think that's fantastic.